combat. 5 times for the bitches ain't come back. 6 times for the kids like me. Turn the whole world to a crisis. Whoa. Walk around the city with an ice pick. I've been paranoid, usually I ain't like this. Ain't no time.
Oh shit, where's my bag?
My name is Avery Flanagan. I was born in Australia, but I'm Filipino. I work as a clinical orderly down at St. Vincent's Private Hospital. Work there Monday to Friday. Every day afterwards, I come down to Integrated MMA and train with the best team in Australia. My thoughts on the past and present MMA scene. I definitely think that we have to appreciate the past for what it brought MMA to be today. It's definitely more mainstream, which brings a lot of attention to it, which in turn brings a lot of competition, and that competition just gives yourself more competition to learn from, to better yourself from, and based on present day MMA fighters, I definitely think that because of the old school OG MMA boys that we have such a standard to hold up to, and the fact that every year we're breaking those standards, it's bringing the sport to a whole new level, and that's why it's one of the biggest sports in the world at the moment. Biggest inspirations when it comes to MMA, definitely number one, Adrian Pang. He is by far one of the best coaches I've ever seen. He's one of the realest and most original MMA fighters that trains one of the best teams in Australia to fight at national and international standards. But I think going back to when MMA was coming up, good old George St. Pierre, he's got to be one of the GOATs for me, just for not just his fighting mentality, but his day-to-day life. He's a humble person. He doesn't flaunt around, but when he's in the cage, he has that life or death situation. And I feel like for MMA, you need that, because you need to live a normal lifestyle and be a normal human being, but at the same time, when it's time to bang on, touch gloves and let the blood fly. What drives me to train? I just want to see myself get better. I used to be very, very heavy. I think the heaviest I got to was about just over 126 kilos. Came into my first MMA class on a wrestling day thinking, I'm just gonna big dog everyone. I'm nice and huge. I got all the strength of them. And then I got humbled by some 5'2" guy that I've never seen before, and he was one of the nicest guys I've ever seen. And from that, it clicked in my head that you need to be better. You can't just think that you're better than this person because of certain attributes. You need to put them all together, and you need to work on them all together. And that's why I train MMA, because it gives you so many opportunities and different areas to learn that if you're excelling in one, you still have multiple areas to jump back on. And getting down to the weight level that I'm at now. I'm nice and healthy, and I have MMA to thank for that. But main reason I train is just because I want to get better. I want to be better, and I'm not setting limitations of what I can do, because every limitation I've set for myself, I've completely shattered. So no more limitations, just train as hard as I can, get as good as I can, and I'm not going to stop training MMA.
What makes me a fighter? I see a lot of the limitations that people set on themselves and the limits that they set people to, thinking you can't do this, you'll never be able to do that. And being a prior obese person at 126 kilos, I wanted to push past my limits. I wanted to prove people wrong, and through that I found MMA, and through the discipline of it I found that there's no reason to pay attention to what other people think. It's just on what you think of yourself, and setting that warrior mentality, I think, is what makes me a fighter. Just wanting to push past my limits, set new limitations, and keep breaking records.
My motto would be better than yesterday. Yesterday is always the past, and the present is always right now. So for the future, who knows what can happen? You could become an international champion overnight, or you could get slugged in front of a bunch of your friends and family, but all you got to do is just be better than you were yesterday, and from that, sky's the limit. I'm fighting at XFC 50 at the middleweight class. This is going to be my amateur MMA debut, and I'm excited. I'm training with the best team in Australia, and I'm keen to put it to work and put it in a live situation and see how good I really am.